All right, Gabe Jenkins back with you. Hope you're having a heck of a good day. I'm recording that just so people later can hear the same thing. All right, hope you're having a heck of a good day. So am I. Today we are going to be going over basically how to take an isometric view and convert it to a multi-view drawing with dimensions. So we've gotten to the point, I hope, that we understand what an isometric is kind of as a view. We might not know how to like construct it yet, but we know what it looks like. And we know what a multi-view orthographic drawing looks like, and we've had some practice doing it over the last couple of days. I'm going to collect your work from you later at the end of the class, just the one out of the 3 that you've already done, but that'll come at the end of class. Today, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to add the last 2 things we've been doing and kind of just join them together. We're going to make a multi-view drawing, and we're going to add the dimensions to it and make sure that we're doing that all correct. Okay, so with that, I am going to share my screen with the Zoom world, and I'll just share the whole screen. Okay, move this down to the bottom so it's out of the way. All right, so what we've been doing is we've been taking isometric views, which look like basically like this. They look like a 3-dimensional object, and we've been converting them into a multi-view or an orthographic drawing. And so I want you to just make sure that I'm highlighting a couple of things that I want to make sure I'm hammering home with you, just so that we can just move on and not have to think about this anymore. Whenever we're doing a multi-view drawing, the front view is always going to go down on the bottom left down here. The top view is always going to go above it, and the right side view is going to always go over here to the right side. Notice that I have everything lined up. So the left edge of the top matches exactly with the left edge of the front. And so does the right edges. They all line up correctly. And the top of the front and the bottom of the front line up perfectly with the top of the right and the bottom of the right. We did that just because after we drew our front side view, we used projection lines at all kind of key points so that everything lined up. We did it from the front to the top, and we did it from the front over to the right. And then after we had drawn the top view, we found the kind of top corner of the shape, which is where the top line here intersected with the far right here. And then we drew a 45-degree angle going box corner to corner to corner to corner to corner. Some of you are like, how do I know if it's a 45-degree angle? Just go corner to corner to corner. And then we looked at the top view, every kind of key point on the top view, we went over to that 45-degree line and then drew a projection line down. Same thing. And once we had done that, it kind of just shows us what the right side view needs to be. Shayna? Is it necessary to do the 45-degree angle? Yes, because if you do it, if you do it at a different angle, you mean like, could you do it at a different angle? No, I mean, if you can correctly just figure out what the right side looks like and you can line it up correctly with everything, then it's not necessary. It's a tool because it just makes it easier, right? If you made the angle something weird, like way out to the side like this, what you would end up with, a distorted shape down here on the right side view. It would either be too fat or too skinny or something, right? And so by making it at the 45-degree angle, you're making sure that it's exactly, that everything lines up perfectly. So basically today, what we're going to do is we're going to take an isometric, we're going to turn it into a multi-view, and we're going to make sure that all of our dimensions are correct. All right. So I'm going to have you guys do this one with me. Very first thing is this, and this is going to seem stupid, but that's all right. My paper's like this. Now my paper's like this. It matters only a little bit, but it matters because now you can put your name down here in the bottom left where it says name, right? I'm just trying to get everybody to make your papers look professional, right, and neat. And some people are like writing their names up at the top or upside down, and just like trying to get in the habit of making everything look really neat and tidy and professional. All right, so the shape we're trying to do is the isometric that is up here on the top side. It's a pretty straightforward shape. There's only one hidden line on it, and so it's going to be pretty easy. All right, so here's what we're doing. We're starting off here, and I'm going to start off, before I draw anything, I'm just going to quickly count and see how wide this thing is, right? So I start here on the bottom left corner and I'm counting triangles. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9 boxes wide. Why do I need to do that? Yeah, so I can fit it in, right? Like I'm trying to make my drawing as big as I can without, you know, making it too big for my paper. So if I got 9, if it's 9 boxes wide, I can't remember how many. Anybody want to do the quick count? How many boxes wide is your graph paper? Everybody count real quick. How much? Okay, count them real quick. 1, 2. 41. All right, so it's 40. So if my thing is 9 boxes wide in the reference drawing, if I doubled that, I get 18. That's still less than like half the page, so that should be fine. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start not at the very, very, very bottom corner. I'm going to start up like maybe 3 boxes up and 3 boxes over, and I'm going to put a little dot right here. I'm not going down to the very bottom because I want to be able to leave some room for dimensions, right? If I wanted to put dimensions down on the bottom corner. Now, again, if I look right up here, it's 9 wide. So I'm going to take a straight edge because we're at the point in class where any straight line should be drawn with a straight edge at this point. And I'm going to go over 18 boxes. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. And if I need to make it stronger, I'm going to make it a little darker line. So I'm going to try to draw this kind of sideways L shape first. And I know that it goes up 3 boxes. So I'm going to go up 3. I'm going to go up 6. I'm putting dots on my corners. You don't need to do that. I'm doing it just because I'm trying to make it clear, like where my projection lines are going to come from. Then I got to go over to the right and 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go over, not 4, but I'm going to go over 8, straight over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Then I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. So instead of going up 3, I'm going to go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a dot here. And we're just following the triangle. So from that corner here, I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go over 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a little circle here. And I'm going to come down. What? I hope so. Top one isn't that, yeah, Sayed's right. The top one, if you look at it from the top view, it's only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only going to be 8. So we should have enough room. All right, so we've taken care of basically this L shape right here, but we still got to do front view. We would still see this rectangle here. which is just connects this here to that, and that to that. Make a little dot here, and this is the front view. Just going to put it down in small letters down on the bottom, front view, and that's my front view almost done. The only part I'm missing is this little box up here, because you would see that from the front view. And so all I have to do now is just fill in this last part. And my solid object visible lines. And now is a good time. If you know that your lines are super light right now, if you know you're going to need to make them darker to distinguish them from your projection lines, now would be a good time to do that. All right. Now, after we've done our front view, remember the process is pretty straightforward. We're going to take all of the key kind of left-right points, and we're going to project them with a light projection line up. That's going to help us make our top view line up, and it's going to help us to draw it. All right. It's hard to see on the screen, but we all know that they are there. It's hard for me to see them honestly on my own paper, but that's all right. We're going to do the same thing over to the right. So I got this dot here, and I'm going to project that over to the right. The bottom one I'm going to do, that's going to help me establish the top and bottom for my right side views. And I'm also, I can't forget this middle dot right here. This is going to be very helpful. This is a feature that is going to become apparent, the importance of it on the right side. Okay. So I did my projection lines up and I did my projection lines over. Okay. Now going to be time for me to make my top view. So I'm just going to okay. So when I look at it from the top, I'm going to have like a T shape with a rectangle down here. And then there's going to be a little space down here where there's kind of nothing there, right? From the top view, you can't see anything there, right? So I'm counting up how many boxes it is from the front to the back. So this is my depth of my object. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only 4 boxes or triangles deep. So I'm going to make those 8. I'm going to, just before I start drawing anything, I'm just going to kind of count and see how many spaces I got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I got 14 boxes. I'm going to definitely want some dimensions in here and maybe a little bit on top too. So I'm going to go up 4 boxes maybe and establish this as kind of my bottommost point of my top drawing. And I said it's 8 deep, so I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That seems good. It leaves me a little bit of room on top to make some dimensions. And a little bit in between them to make some dimensions. Now, the helpful part of the projection lines, right, is that I know my shape on the top is going to go all the way up to that final projection line. I don't really have to count it out because I've already done the projection line and I know they have to line up. I know that on the bottom I followed this line all the way over, it's going to line up with this projection line. So this bottom line, I can make it go from here, from that point right there, all the way over to here. From that point, it's going to go, if this goes up 2, I'm going to go up 4, and then going to go over to the end. I'm going to go up 4 from here. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. With my little cutout shape. Almost done with my top view. The only thing I have left to do on my top view is to make sure I am correctly showing how this rectangle looks right here, this little cutout piece. So I know that from the bottom corner here, got to go up 1, 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. So I can follow my projection line up to that point right there. I go straight up on my projection line. Start here, go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back over to the edge where that rectangle starts. That's my top view. All that's left to do is my right side view and any hidden lines, and then we're going to dimension. So my right side view is going to look like just 2 rectangles, 2 vertical rectangles pretty much. But there's going to be this hidden line we're going to have to deal with too. But to do that first, we're going to do what we talked about the other day. We're going to start at the top right corner of our shape. We're going to draw a light 45-degree angle. So we're going to go from corner to corner on these boxes. And then for each one of these key points on the top view, we're just going to lightly draw a line, because that's mine, over. Over. And over. Just until it hits that 45-degree line. And then from wherever it hits, we're going to go straight down with the projection line. Super light. And at this point, much of our drawing has actually been done kind of for us. Do a quick lap to see if everyone's okay. All right, let's go. Tylen's already feeling confident about his object lines. We made him super dark. That's nice. All right, so we're close. We know that when I followed this bottom line over to the 45-degree, and then came down, this point right here where the downward line intersected with the projection line, that's going to be the kind of corner of our new shape. And we know that if I count boxes down, I shouldn't even need to count truthfully, but if I count down, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 6 times 2 is 12. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, it does. It all works out perfectly, which is such a nice feeling. So this is going to be the left edge of our shape, like that. The top goes over until it reaches this projection line. So when this projection line came down, it stopped right there. So I'm going to draw a line that connects them. This one goes all the way down to the bottom of our shape. We've now drawn a basic outline of the right side of the shape. Now the right side of the shape's got this edge right here, which from the right side, this edge, this whole face right here is 1, 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. I'll draw this straight down to represent that edge right here. And at that point, we're like 99.9% done with our drawing. There's only one thing I have left to do. I got to do the hidden line. Thank you. I got to do the hidden line. But that's easy because since we did the front view, which really clearly shows what this thing looks like, at least where that line is, and we did a projection line over, I don't have to measure anything. I know that it's going to be right here. It's going to be on the left side, and I'm going to draw a dotted line. Dotted line means that there is a hidden feature that is not visible from that particular view, but it's there. I'm going to label it right, and we're done. So the drawing itself is now done. All that's left to do is dimension it. So a couple of things. You guys have done a good job at giving me overall dimensions. Most everybody's giving me overall dimensions, like how wide is this whole shape? How tall is this whole shape, right? Most people are doing a pretty good job of figuring out how long each side, like a side length is. Locations we're still working on a bit, and most of us are pretty good with the circular dimensions. But what I want to just talk about really quickly here is how do we group those dimensions so that we don't have to write them like 50 times. We can just write them in the most simplified way. And we want to make it so that each one of our, any side size dimension is shown closest to the feature where you can see what it looks like. Okay, so let's start with this. We know that this whole shape is, 18, right? 18, and each one of our boxes is 1/4 inch. So 18 divided by 4 is going to give me 4.5 inches. So because it is shared, that 4.5 inches is shared by this view and by this view. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a line that goes, I'm not touching each object. I'm just going to here, keeping it just a little bit off. Over here as well. And down here, so that it's kind of as far away from both objects as I can get it, I'm going to make my dimension lines with arrows that touch. Some of you are still trying to figure out exactly what your arrows should look like. After looking at your work, that's what some of you are still drawing your arrows in kind of a weird way. You want to draw your arrows from the center. Like, I'm going to put my number right here. My number is 4.5. I'm not going to put the inches here because I'm going to write that down in my information down below. I just want numbers up here. And my arrows should go all the way to the lines. Okay. All right. Now, this cutout feature is kind of most easy to see what it looks like if I'm looking at it from the front view. It could, I mean, it's also pretty easy to see what it looks like from the top view. Both of these views are good places to do it. I'm going to put it down here so that I can see what it looks like. So again, I'm going to draw a little line up from that point. This line is still here, so I don't have to redraw that at all. And how long is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 blocks divided by 2 inches. So I'm going to write a 2, and then I'm going to draw a line with an arrow that goes to the edge, and a line with an arrow that goes to the edge. Okay. These two features are kind of most easy to see from the top view because you can't really see, well, you can't really see them as well from the bottom view. This side right here, let's just finish this one, I guess. We'll finish this one first. How deeply this line goes down, we can see, and it goes down. It's easiest to see from the front view. And so I'm going to draw extension line here, an extension line here, and my number is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 1.5. 6 boxes is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to put a 1.5. Draw a little arrow up until it touches the line. Draw a little arrow down. See? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not totally necessary. I like it because it just makes it easy to see, but you know, as long as there's an arrow there, I'm not going to care. All right, we got these 2 dimensions here. And this is an inch and that's an inch. So we have to figure out where to put those. Or we could just put it up here. Could we do that? Yeah, let's do this. Let's say what the overall height is over here. Or I guess in real life, this would be the depth, the height of this box, but in real life, it's the depth. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 divided by 4, 2 inches. So it's 2 inches from the top to the bottom. So now I need to just say one of these 2. I don't need to say both of them, right? And so that's something that some of us are still doing too. We're kind of putting too many dimensions on things when it's unnecessary. If you told me like the overall dimension, like how tall this whole shape is, if you want to just give me one out of these 2, that's enough. And what's nice about that is I can kind of then leave it a little cleaner looking and a little bit more open as a diagram. So I'm going to choose to dimension this part up here. I'm going to draw an extension line over and an extension line over and say that this is 1 inch from here to here. And that way I don't have to say how long this is. I do have to say how wide this is though, because all I know at this point is that this whole thing is 4.5 inches. I know that this is 2, but I don't know how wide this is or this is. So I'm going to do this. I'm trying to keep my shape itself as clean as I can. And so I'm going to make a little extension line out here from this point. And I'm going to say from here over to here, because I already have this extension line here, it's 1. And I think that totally dimensions everything I need to do. I could do another one to show how tall this is, but it's not necessary because it's all in line, because I know what this is and I know the whole dimension. I don't really need to say what this is as long as it's all the same, as long as it's a parallel line and everything else. So I don't need to do that. The only other thing I really have left to do is to dimension this thing over here. And so I need to say what the height of this whole thing is. And so I'm going to draw between these two. And I'm drawing it between the two because this same dimension is going to be shared by both the right side view and the top view. So I only have to do it once if I do it between them. So from here to here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 divided by 4, since each one of these boxes represents 1/4 minutes. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I'm going to put a 3. Make an arrow here. Make an arrow here. The question is, are we done? Is there anything in here that I need to do? Shaman. Okay, good. I'm going to write down at the bottom, measured in inches. Good. Some of you are still trying to remember to do that every single time. Most of us are getting better at that. That's good, though. I need to say that. Is there any other dimension that, like, do I need to say how wide this box is? Why not? Because I can figure it out from the top view, right? Do I need to say how wide the whole thing is from left to right? Because that's 2 is here, and that's the same dimension as this. It's not the worst thing in the world if I put another 2 here just to help somebody see it. That's not the worst thing in the world. Duplicating dimensions, like putting them in where they're unnecessary, is not awful, right? It's not. It's clear. It's not elegant, but it's not bad. It's not like wrong, right? So I don't need to tell how wide it is because that number is actually right here. I don't need to say how tall it is because that's here. How wide this is already told kind of by this because I can figure it out. I think right. I think we're done. Right? If I wanted to add in dimensions for like how wide this whole thing is, I could. If I wanted to add dimensions for like just how wide this half is, I could do that. If I wanted to add them in for just how tall this is, I could do that. But they're not necessary because I don't need them to figure out the shape. And that's really it. So the drawing of the multi-view shape, we're going to start with the isometric and we're going to start with the front view, do the front view really well, like make sure that we've counted up the number of boxes and it's going to fit in terms of scale. Then we're going to do our projection lines up, draw a top view, do our 45-degree angle, and then carry our projection lines over and then down so we can draw a right side view and then dimension it in a way that makes the most sense. If a dimension is shared by both, try to put it in the middle. That way you only have to do it once. And I think we're good to go. Are there any questions at this point? All right, so awesome. I'm gonna walk around real quick. All right, so I think I've done a quick check, quick walk around, and I think everybody's on track. I think everybody knows what they're gonna do. And then once you have finished your multi-view for that second drawing and you put all your dimensions in there, make sure that your object lines are super dark so they can see very clearly where all of the shape outlines are for the front view, top view, and right side view. And then if you could, you should erase all of the projection lines so that it's really super clean and all I see are the front, top, and right side views. And then it'll be perfect. Huh?